Hello there, and welcome to Sync Music Matters, a podcast that explores the beautiful relationship between music and the moving image. My name is Jim Hustvedt, and I'm your host on this journey, as each week I seek to understand the people and the process behind the best music in TV, film and games. I'm talking to composers, but I'm also talking to editors, music supervisors, directors, and anyone else who's involved with the synchronous process of pairing audio and visuals. Hello, listener. Welcome to the show. In a moment, I'm going to be chatting to Jack Halama, who recently co-composed the Disney series Rivals with Natalie Holt. We're going to dig into his work on that and also his work on the second series, which he's currently scoring on his own. If you listen to the score for Rivals, it has a very particular and distinct musical identity, and Jack talks about the importance of making bold musical choices in order to inform that identity, and he also wonders whether those bold musical choices are also key in sometimes winning pitches to score these series. We also talk about recording instruments underwater, which he did for the Netflix series Who Is Erin Carter, literally in a pool, recording guitar, cello, gongs, all sorts. And in relation to that, we also talk about the importance of creating a unique sonic palette, particularly in a world whereby many composers are using the same synths and plugins. We do also nerd out a little bit on some of the synths and plugins that Jack has been using for these shows. But before we do, I just have a quick favour to ask, if I may. If you are a regular listener to the show, I would be hugely grateful if you could just take 10-15 seconds to rate and review this podcast on your preferred podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, wherever it may be. I'd be very grateful, and it just goes some way to helping the show reach as many people as possible. Anyway, grab yourself a cup of tea and a Kit Kat, and let's crack on with the show. Jack Halama is a BAFTA-nominated multi-instrumentalist, composer and producer from Bristol. He's written for numerous productions, including Disney Plus's comedy drama Rivals, to Netflix's series Who Is Erin Carter. He's also written additional music for a host of major series, including Marvel's Loki and Star Wars spin-off of Obi Wan Kenobi. Jack has a diverse background that straddles contemporary and classical education. He draws on an eclectic range of influences, blending guitars, synths, and classical elements to create a unique style. Jack, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me. So it's really weird just hearing someone kind of like speak about you at you.
At you, yeah. It's like, oh, what is this me? So I'll begin where I always begin. If you can cast your mind back to a young Jack Halama gallivanting around the main streets of Bristol, probably between the ages, anywhere between 8 and 15. If someone had asked you, what would you like to be when you grow up, what would you have replied?
Well, between those ages, it changed, actually. When I was, as long as I can remember, I wanted to be an artist, like a fine artist. So I used to just draw and paint all the time. And I was really into my art and drawing, and I always played music as well. But it when I was kind of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it was the art was the thing that I was really passionate about, and music I just kind of messed about on the piano. And then it kind of flipped. I think in school, I think I kind of noticed that with art, I didn't like studying art. I didn't like studying. I didn't like doing kind of exercises and, like copying other people's work. And I just kind of only wanted to do what I did. Whereas with music, I found it really interesting, just even doing like a kind of, learning music theory or doing like little exercises like Bach chorales or just like learning harmony, and kind of slowly started to realize that actually I kind of was interested in all aspects of music. Then art became the kind of hobby thing that I did for myself, and music became the more of my passion, I guess.
That's interesting, because you've got two creative pursuits there, and one of them you're interested in all aspects, including the theoretical side of it, whereas with the other one you're kind of like, well, I just want to do my own thing. It's interesting, because I would have thought maybe with the music you might be the same. Like, I don't want to play other people's music. I just want to write my own and improvise. Or
to be fair, I was definitely always, I wasn't someone who played covers in a band when I was a kid, and like I did always write my own music. but it wasn't so much like with art, an art class, and you do a pastel drawing of a bowl of fruit or whatever, and I just kind of like never got into as a bit of a kind of, I guess I was a bit of a snob maybe. I was just kind of like, who cares about this? I don't want to do this. I want to just do my own thing.
Yeah. But then if art is a form of creative self-expression and you're just drawing a bowl of fruit, I totally get that. That might not be the most inspiring thing.
Yeah, although then again, what's the musical equivalent of drawing a bowl of fruit? It's kind of just like matching a guitar sound or something. Like, so I'm still interested in imitating certain eras or sounds in music, and I don't know why. But in answer to your question, I would never wanted to, be a fireman there was nothing. It was always, I used to want to be an artist when I was really young, and then I slowly wanted to be a musician, and that was it really, which is quite weird, I guess. You don't meet that many people now who knew what they wanted to do from that young.
No, I've had quite a few people on a couple of people wanted to be paleontologists.
Wow.
A few people one wanted to be was it a professional roller skater, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I still remember the paleontologist was one of the first, it's like a word that I could spell that
Really?
I used to show off. Yeah, I mean, when I was like, not when I was 18, when I was like, I don't know, 5 or something, I learned how to spell it. And
so that wasn't your party piece when you went to a party as an 18-year-old? Like, hey guys, gather round, I'm going to spell paleontologist for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So at what point, obviously you decided you wanted to be a musician. Did you specifically know you wanted to write music, or did you?
Definitely, yeah. The thing is, I'm saying that as if I had some sort of plan, or I was still like a clueless kid / teenager that I just did music all the time. It wasn't like, realistically, if you'd asked me, what do you believe you'll do? Like, if it was like, what do you want to do? What would be the dream? It would be some version of, I didn't necessarily know, like being a film composer or media composer. It was like, I just want to do music in some way. But realistically, I think I probably thought I'd just become a builder, or like I don't think I believed I actually would do it. It's just that's what I did all the time, and that's what I love doing.
So how did it come into being then? How did it happen?
Well, I went to uni
in Bristol
to do music. No, in Liverpool. And it's basically just carried on doing music until I couldn't. I was like, I'm going to keep doing it until I can't do it anymore. And then that kind of never quite came about. I mean, I got a job as a runner at ITV, and I was trying to kind of like hustle people, like meeting producers and directors and stuff. And I think I got my very first commission was like 1 second of music on Come Dine With Me.
Wow. 1 second, that's pretty.
I think it was about 1 second, yeah.
It's just like a sting.
Yeah, basically. I went into a room with some like editors and a director who were making an episode, and I heard them chatting about like, we're really looking for this piece of Japanese music, and we can't find it. Everything, they could only find stuff from like China, Indonesia, and they were like, we want it to be specifically Japanese. And I'd done like a module or project at uni of Japanese music, and so I was like, I've got some Japanese music you can use. And he kind of just like got like a memory. I always carried around a little like USB stick with like just loads of like random stuff that I'd written in case, and just gave them this piece that I'd written. And then I think it was like a Kyoto thing, and they basically just dropped in like 1 second of the. I watched the episode. I was like, let me know when the episode's coming out, because it's like the first thing I'd ever had on TV. And I remember it, like it just cut to their like Japanese themed night of someone on Come Dine With Me, and had 1 second of that track, and that was it.
Was it registered on PRS? Did you check your statement?
I have no idea.
I was going to say,
I have no idea.
I can imagine you waiting for your PRS statement, going through sort of like, in the early days, you might not have had that many sort of royalties, so you might have actually been able to quite easily see, there it is, there's like 1 second.
I would have, yeah, definitely.
0.04 pence or whatever it would have been.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was like, I'm not from a musical background at all, or I've never met hadn't met a musician till I went to uni, basically. You know, like I'm not from that. So like everything like PRS, and it was like a very slow learning curve for me, all this stuff. I was just like, what's PRS? You know?
And when you were playing around with music, what was guitar? You play guitar, don't you? But what were you making music on?
Yeah, so I had a piano in my house that nobody in my house could play. So me and my little brother kind of just always, you know, like we grew up playing it, but not in any formal way. Just kind of like always sat at the piano and just randomly. So I guess like I always started from writing stuff. You know, it was like, I started playing guitar when I was 8 or 9. I remember my dad bought me a Jimi Hendrix CD, and I was like, you know, like just mind blown. Like, what is this? What is this sound? This is amazing. And yeah, just bought a guitar. I bought a guitar on like Gumtree. I think it was actually a Bristol version of Gumtree called Trade It. I remember it. It's like a newspaper.
Okay, yeah, well.
And there was like a guitar and amp combo for about 40 quid or something. And it's like, yeah, I was like, I want that for my like Christmas and birthday present. Got that and just played it like non-stop, you know, like just played it so much, and just learned all these. I got this book of like that same, it's like best of Jimi Hendrix, and I got like a tab book and like learnt just the whole CD basically, and just like didn't stop playing it.
Amazing. It's amazing how that inspiration is just a driving force to master something. It was Guns N' Roses for me. Guns N' Roses, particularly nice. Paradise City. I was like, I've got to be able to play this, and that opened up the guitar. Yeah. So fast forward, so going from, you've had your 1 second of music played on Come Down With Me. What was the path from there to, you know, the milestones to where you are today? So
I carried on at ITV. They were doing a show, 60-minute makeover. Yeah, so it's like where they go in and like revamp a room into like, you know what it is. And I like got on with the people who did that show well, and I just wrote them a thing, because they always have a piece of music where it's like a kind of like loungy beat, and then there's like a big whoosh as the like new room's revealed, and then it like drops and there's like a thing. So I kind of like just did one of those. Like I was like, I know the drill. I just made them one and just gave it to them. I was like, I made you a track for the thing, like why don't you use it? And I think they just stuck it in, and then like the people who were registering everything higher up were kind of like, what's this random track with like no information, just like, it was just called like 60-minute track 1 whatever, and they like just said it was mine. And then I think that like I didn't really realize at the time, so like then the people above who were like in charge of registering basically contacted me and said, would I want to write some more tracks like similar for the kind of library music arm of ITV? And I was obviously like, yeah, amazing, I'm definitely up for that. I think they kind of panicked a little bit, because the show was like, because that show's like obviously cut like it's on every single day, so they go out really quickly. So I think that it'd already been out before anyone noticed there was this like random unregistered track in there. But yeah, then I started doing library music.
What was the library? Was it Juice?
Juice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, spot on. So yeah, I did some stuff for Juice, and then like obviously they're all quite connected. So I started doing stuff for like lots of different other libraries, and like met a few people who kind of like run libraries or run companies that make music for loads of different libraries. You know, so like ended up doing quite a lot of that stuff.
Which libraries?
Like Universal, KPM.
KPM back in the day. Then it became Sony, ATV, right. And then now I think it's Extreme. I think Extreme swallowed KPM.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, like lots of different, and like all these other different ones. I can't